your family were civil servants. Your mother and father were civil servants. Where are they from?
Again, my father, St. Pete, he wanted to be a mortician, so he went to the only school for blacks to go to was in Atlanta, Georgia. And my mother, coming from South Louisiana, wanted to be a nurse, and she went to the Grady Memorial Colored School for Nursing in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's where they met. They met in Atlanta, and of course, later on in the story, got married, then got divorced when I was 3. So most of my adult life, or most of my life, my parents were always separated.
And you have children. So how many children do you have?
Yes, I have a son, and I have he's in Jacksonville area, and I have a daughter who's a doctor who's in Germany at the time, and I have a daughter who lives here in St. Petersburg who is a teacher. And my son is involved in car sales. He's been doing that all of his life, so he loves that, and he lives in Jacksonville.
And so do you know your grandparents?
I do. My grandparents in Louisiana who raised me was Jacob and Hazel Harris. And here in St. Petersburg, I never met my grandfather on my father's side. He had deceased before I was born, but my grandmother was Mary C. Brayboy, and she was a prominent citizen here in St. Petersburg.
Excellent. So any siblings?
No, I was the only child.
Wow. Spoiled little brat, you.
Well, that comes with the territory.
So I know that everyone has, various occupations, and they have testimonies of things that have happened over their lives that are unique to their fingerprint and footprint on this earth. So what is your occupation? Can you tell us some of the things that you've done in your industrious career?
Wow. First of all, when I went to college, I said I wanted to get a business degree, and I was at a college that was known for producing teachers. So the business department was very small, but therefore it was very intimate too. I could reach out and touch the head of the department, and he would send me out on internships, and I really learned a lot. My experience at Bethune-Cookman was great. When I came out here into the real world, as an African American saying he wants to be involved in business, there was a very few opportunities. But I started off in the mortgage business, learned how to prepare people to become homeowners by financing their mortgages. That was a great experience. And I later on did grants businesses with the city of St. Petersburg. We would do small business loans with African American entrepreneurs in the city of St. Petersburg. And so I've done that type of work is what I've been all about most of my life. But it was never with one company. I was always moving from one company to another company, which at that time was very strange and odd. Today, the younger generation, that's what they understand life is going to be like for them. So I can tell them, my kids used to make jokes about how many business cards I had going from one company to another company. But I always learned something. And eventually when I became a stockbroker with Dean Witter, which doesn't exist anymore, Dean Witter doesn't exist anymore, but the knowledge I learned as a stockbroker set me up to become a real estate investor. And that is what I'm proud of today, saying that my wife and I have partnered on buying a lot of properties here in St. Petersburg, and we're really focused on the 22nd Street corridor and trying to bring life back to that corridor.
Yes, you're doing an excellent job of that. So we don't have to number how many properties you own on there, but we do want to ask what your journey has been in acquiring some of those properties. Like I know that one of the properties actually was torn down, and you're going to use that for other means. But can you just give us a little bit of your journey into?
Sure. It's not easy to be a real estate investor and buying properties in the African American community predominantly. One is that the properties are going to be a certain amount of deterioration is involved with it. So when you're buying the properties, you know you're going to have to put new roof, new windows, new doors, but that made them unbankable. So my wife and I basically had to use our own private funds to acquire and rehab the properties. But we were fortunate enough to be able to do it. At some time, St. Petersburg was very affordable in terms of price or cost to acquire. Today, that has changed. When I was buying some properties in my younger life, I said, well, I'm going to hold them until I get older so that will be my pension fund. because I may not work long enough with any one company to earn a pension fund. And that prophecy turned out very well because I was buying properties at $50,000. And today in St. Petersburg, it's very hard to find a house for sale under $200,000. And so we've acquired a lot of equity in these properties. But for the commercial properties, we offer them out to very affordable rents to entrepreneurs so that they can afford to be in business and support their families.